In this question here, we are looking at a linear quadratic system, but one that is incomplete. So we're asked to determine the value or values of k such that this linear equation here, notice that is in the form of y equals mx plus b, where does it intersect this quadratic at exactly one point? So let's kind of get a handle on what it is we're looking at just from a very qualitative point of view. In other words, we're going to draw a picture just to get a feel for the expressions. Let's see here. There is my y-axis, and there is my x. And what I know about these equations, so the first one, you'll notice that the slope is a positive number, so it's kind of steep. It'll be something like this. And my second equation, because I have a positive a value here, it'll be a parabola opening upwards with a y-intercept of 3. So let's see, it'll be something like this, say. Now, the parabola could be maybe over here or here. We don't know. But what we do know is that it opens up and the line is going to intersect it at exactly one point. This is no points, this is 1 point, that would be 2 points, namely here and here. But we're trying to find the value k in such a way that it'll intersect at exactly 1 point there. Let me just kind of draw that in. Here's kind of our point of intersection, and I just happen to draw it on, where it intersects the y-axis, but it could be anywhere really. I mean, we don't know. I'm just drawing a very rough sketch of what this scenario is like. So if they intersect at 1 point, then they have to have a point in common. In other words, the y value for the linear has to equal the y value for the quadratic. So why don't we set that up? I'm going to take this equation here and make it equal to this equation here, because again they intersect, therefore their y values and their x at that point must be equal. But I guess the question remains is, well, what's going to make that true? Specifically, what value of k is going to make that true? So let's consolidate everything over to the right hand side. So I'm going to bring everything over. So I'll be left with 0 on the left. Make that a little bit bigger. 0 on the left. And I'll have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3x plus 3 minus k on the right. And if I collect like terms, I end up with negative 8x plus 3 minus k. And that equals 0. So we want this system here, this equation, to have one solution because we want it to intersect at 1 point. And what that means is, in this scenario, in this quadratic, we only want to have one solution. So in our discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, we want that to equal to 0. So what plays the role of a? Well, 2 is going to be a, negative 8 is going to be our b value, and this here, 3 minus k, is going to play the role of our c. So let's take a look at what happens when we plug these guys into the equation for the discriminant. So I'm going to get negative 8 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3 minus k equals 0. And if I do my math, I'll get 64 minus, I'm going to do this all at once. Nope. 8 times 3, 24. And that'll be plus 8k equals 0. Collect like terms, consolidate everything on the right hand side will give me negative 40. And if I divide both sides by 8, I end up with k equals -5. So what does that mean? Well, going back to the original, let me kind of zoom out here so we get the big picture once again. Going back to the original, it says when k is -5, in other words, when the y-intercept has a value of -5, then my line will touch the graph at exactly 1 point. So this line should really be somewhere down here, okay, where the intercept, the y-intercept, is -5. And this parabola, again, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like other than it passes through 3, but it's going to be something like this, I'd say. And I'm just eyeballing it. This is not exact at all. If you want to see what it looks like, you know, go to Desmos, graph it in, and you'll see. But it looks like roughly over here, we will get our point of intersection. And we don't need this guy anymore. Oh, too much erased. It'll look something like that. So this question is really telling us that the value of k, or the y-intercept for the linear equation that will make the line intersect the parabola at 1 point, is going to be -5. And there's only one value of k that satisfies that.